Hi everyone, welcome back to another interesting tutorial. So in today's tutorial I'll be teaching you how to make this very beautiful crisscross blouse. As you can see, Vicky James wore it. It's still same crisscross style. So we have longer lengths and then there are also shorter lengths, but if you want to make this longer length you have to buy a lot of fabric compared to the shorter one. So if you're interested in learning how to cut this crisscross blouse in the simplest way ever, then I want you to watch this tutorial to the end, and at the end of this video you will see the one that I made. So let's get right into it. So this is the fabric that I'll be using. This is an organza fabric, and these are the tools that I'll be using for this tutorial: my scissors, tape, chalk, and my ruler. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to open up the fabric so we can go into the cutting. So this was me opening up the fabric. I'm going to be folding this fabric into two, like I'm cutting a boo-boo gown. So first step is to fold your fabric into two like you're cutting a boo-boo gown. So this was it when I was done folding. The next thing I'm going to do right now is to rule out the starting line. So I'll go ahead now and rule my starting line. After that, guys, the next thing I will do is to take my vertical measurement, which is the length of our blouse. So for the length of the blouse, I'm going to be using 29 inches because I am making a short length, and I'll go ahead and mark this 29 inches across the fabric, and then I'll use my ruler to connect into the point into a straight line, just the way you see me doing. The next thing I will do is to take my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'll mark it there, and then I'll go ahead and take my neck width, which is 3 inches. Then I'll come down by 1 inch for the neck depth. Then I will now connect it just the way you see me doing. So from my shoulder measurement, I'm going to be marking my sleeve length, which is 11. I'll come down by 1 inch from there for my shoulder slope, and then I'll get my armhole length. I'll be using my bust point, which is 10.5 for my armhole length. That's where your sleeve is going to pass through. So for the body measurement, I'll be using the biggest part of my body, which is my hip, divided by 4. I'll mark it, and then I'll add extra 4 inches. I'm going to check what I have in total, and then I'm going to mark it across the blouse to the hem of our blouse, just the way you see me doing. And then I'll go ahead and connect the points together just like this. Then I'll go ahead now and also cross my armhole together, and then I'll give it a curve because you don't want your armhole to be straight, so you have to curve it out. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to also go ahead and connect my shoulder slope to my neck width, and then I'll go ahead and cut out our blouse. So this is the first step, which is cutting your blouse like you're cutting a boo-boo gown. So this was me when I was cutting. So after cutting this, I'm going to go ahead and fold the remaining fabric so that I can cut the front of our blouse. So when I folded the fabric like this, I placed my back pattern, which is a boo-boo pattern, on the folded fabric, and then I went ahead to check if it would be enough for me to cut the front. So I realized that the fabric for the front is not going to be enough. So what I did was I went ahead to cut out this excess that is remaining, and then I will join to the other part of the fabric. Mind you, the amount of fabric that I used for this blouse is 2 yards because it's a short boo-boo. So if you want to be on the safe side, you should use 3 yards. So this was when I was done joining the fabric, as you can see there. So I'll just go ahead now and place my back pattern on the fabric just like this. So I'll just go ahead and arrange it properly. So as you can see, the center back is facing this other part while the opening is facing the other side. So what I'm going to do now is to determine the length. So for the front pattern, you're going to cut it like you're cutting a wrap top. So you're going to start from the starting line and place your tape just like this, and then you will come down by 12 inches. These 12 inches determine how low you want your chest to be. If you want your cleavage to be revealed, then it depends on you. But if you want it to be moderate, I think 12.5 inches is the best option depending on what you want. So the 12 inches mark that I made there, I'm going to extend it to the end of the fabric, just the way you see me doing. So after I was done extending this, I'll go ahead and mark how many inches I want to use for the wrap of this blouse. So I initially marked 26.5, then I changed my mind to marking 27. So 27 was what I used for the length of our wrap. From the 3 inches neck width, I'm just going to indicate a mark there. Then from these 12 inches, I'm going to come up by 2 inches. So come up by 2 inches, and then I'm going to curve it into our neck width, just the way you see me doing, and I'll also curve it across the line I made for the 12.5 inches, just the way you make your wrap top. That's how you're going to curve it out. So after I was done with this, guys, I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So this was when I was cutting it out, guys. Are you seeing how simple this cutting process is already? There's no big deal. It's a very easy tutorial if you pay attention. So after cutting my sleeve area, I'll also go ahead and cut out our wrap side. So sorry that part isn't showing because of how small my table is. So just go ahead and cut out this wrap area. Then I'm going to lift the back pattern so that I can cut out the neck area too, just the way you see me doing. And then I'll go ahead and cut out the length. Listen. So this was it, guys, when I was done cutting. Are you seeing how beautiful our blouse is already? So the next thing I'm going to do is to unpin the blouse, and I'll go ahead and open it up. I'll open up the back part first. So I'm going to be opening it up to the right side. So I'll be placing the right side of the front will match the right side of the back, shoulder to shoulder. Are you seeing? Right sides facing each other. So I'll do the same thing for this other part. Let the right side meet each other, shoulder to shoulder. Then I'll go ahead and pin the shoulder part. That's to secure them. So we could go to the sewing machine to sew it down. So you just go and sew 1/2 inch on both sides. So this was when I was done sewing, guys. Are you seeing? I also went ahead to weave the rough edge. So the next thing I will do right now is to hem the sleeve. So I'll go to my sewing machine now and hem both sides of the sleeve, and I'll show you how it looks like. So this was when I was done hemming the sleeves, guys. Are you seeing how beautiful it is? So I've hemmed both sides of the sleeve. So the next thing I will do will be to shape our blouse. So before you shape, you're going to flip it over to the wrong side, just the way you see me doing. You flip your blouse over to the wrong side, and then you go ahead and shape it by 1 inch or by 1/2 inch, depending on how many inches you want to use in shaping it. So when I'm done with the shaping, I'm going to show you how it looks like. So this was when I was done shaping our blouse. Are you seeing? It's gradually coming to life. So I was just arranging it so you will see how neat it looks. And I also went ahead to weave the inside of the blouse. So this is it, guys. So next thing I'm going to do now is to close up the joining in the center front. So first of all, do not twist. Before you sew your joining, don't twist. If you twist them, that means you've omitted the style. So what you will just do is, first of all, open up the sides like this. Are you seeing how open this is already? Then you go ahead and flip it over. You flip over the right sides facing each other to close it. First thing is to close your center front. So this was me when I was arranging my fabric to close the center front. Do not twist yet until you've sewn the center front. So I'll just go ahead and sew the center front down by 1/2 inch, and I'll show you how it looks. So this was when I was done sewing the center front by 1/2 inch, just like this. And then I'll go ahead now and turn our blouse to the right side. So this is after closing the center front. You can now go ahead and twist. So this is our center front now, as you can see. Then you will just go ahead and fold like this, like you're making a boo-boo with lapel. You know how you make a boo-boo with lapel? You fold that too like this. After folding, you will now go ahead and twist it. So let me come again. First of all, after closing your blouse like this, then you go ahead and fold the blouse into two like this, like you're making a boo-boo lapel. And then you now go ahead and twist. Are you seeing? You go ahead and twist it like this. After twisting, you will now join the midpoint of your center front and the midpoint of your back width together. So you place the two of them together, just the way you see me doing. So after placing it like this, are you seeing? Make sure you notch your back neck width before you place. Then you go ahead and use your pins and you start arranging, making sure that the space you left for the front wrap fits into that line. Are you seeing? You just go ahead and just be aligning the lapel side and your back neck together. So you're just going to be pinning down until you get to the parts that you can't pin anymore. Then you go ahead, after pinning that part, you also go ahead and pin the other part too. So I'll go ahead right now and pin this other side. The reason for this pinning is because it will make your work much easier. So you have to pin so you won't get confused at some point. So just be pinning, joining all of it together, arranging them carefully. So you keep pinning till you get to the point whereby you can no longer pin down. So I'm just arranging and then pinning down. So after pinning down, I'll go to the sewing machine and then I'll sew it and I'll show you how it looks like. So this was when I was done with the sewing, as you can see. Are you seeing how fine this blouse is already? Look at the front area. It's so fine. It's giving. So I'll just go ahead now and hem the remaining part of this blouse. And after hemming, I will show you the finished look of our blouse. So this is the finished look of our blouse, guys. Thank you for watching my video to the end. Hope you're going to be trying this method. And I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.